Hello everyone, it's Brujita, and in today's video I do have a bookshelf organization type of video, but before I get into that, I just wanted to say just a few things really quick. There's a lot of things happening in the world right now, and it feels very stressful, and if I'm being stressed by these things, I can only imagine like other people that are going through a lot more like first-hand impact. I try to educate myself and try to be aware, and sometimes it is kind of exhausting at the same time. I feel like it's kind of stressful. I can't be the only one that feels like that. I feel like every day I wake up and there's something new happening that I don't really like. I don't really have like, I guess, that big of a platform, but I do have a platform, and I figured, I think it's important to at the very least address it in a way. There are a lot of things happening that are scary and stressful and aggravating at the very least. I just wanted to say it's still really important, even though it can be exhausting and just so overwhelming. I think it's really important to still stay in the know with certain things, even if it's just a short amount of exposure, to, still be aware of certain things and to just honestly be an ally, support one another and communities. I know this is supposed to be kind of like a fun type of video. I distract myself with fun non-serious videos too, because everything is just really overwhelming, but I just wanted to take a bit of time to say that, to try not to lose so much hope, try not to be too discouraged, because it is important to be in the know and to try to lift other people that can't really voice things, or they're too afraid to, or they're just not able to. Try to be there for one another during these times that are just honestly insane to me. But yeah, on that note, I hope you enjoy this video. I didn't really make that much of an introduction. I took a lot of B-roll. I decided to finally organize all of my books. I have so many, and then I did that like massive spring haul that some of you have watched, and it was driving me crazy. I need things to be organized, and I just haven't figured out how to fix everything. I have so many trinkets and things like that. As you can see, a bit of a spoiler here. I filmed all of this during the course of a couple of days because I did feel very overwhelmed with everything. I pretty much did a shelf a day. So if you see me in different outfits, no, I didn't change 3 times a day. I just change my outfit every day. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please try to take care of yourself. Please try to take care of one another. And yeah, let's roll the B-roll. Alright, here we are, and I'm just showing you the before. I got all my Winnie the Pooh and this mess of a shelf over here. So I'm just gonna start by taking everything out, and I'm sure you know what that looks like. Throughout this video, I'm showing you a lot of my favorites, like this Aiden Thomas. He signed this and me freaking out. Love that. And I'm just getting rid of all that stuff. Taking a breather, because apparently that was a lot for me. I'm very excited about these Aldi disinfecting wipes. These shelves, guys, were so dusty, by the way. So now I'm going on to my other shelf and picking out all of the fantasy and other books that just aren't horror or thriller, because those do not belong there. So a lot of this is just fantasy and my Twilight books in Spanish that I'm having a hard time holding for some reason. And Ruthless Vows, I decided those are more Dark Academia. And now we're going back and looking at all the piles and my dog being really sad for some reason. And now I'm dusting and choking and now I am showing you all of the books that I think are very pretty and cool. I love my Lord of the Rings edition and the Song of Achilles. Y'all know that's my favorite one. And this Afraid of Dragons one. I haven't read that one, but anyways. So now I'm dusting the books off and just figuring out where everything goes. And this was kind of the most stressful part of this video. I'm very particular about where things go, and I broke my husband's Legos. So there's all that. I am going to be changing the layout a little bit again later on, but this is just the base of how I want this shelf to look. As you can see, a lot of it is just a bunch of fantasy and a few of like just fiction books. Alright, so now we are on the manga shelf. I really didn't do any changes to this, I just essentially dusted it, but I figured since I'm organizing my shelf, I would show you guys everything. So I just did a bit of freshening up and showing you how it's set up. So this is all my manga and graphic novels. I am also going to be changing this up just a little bit, adding a few trinkets towards the end, but yeah. So now we are on to the, I guess, meat and potatoes of my shelves. Here I am taking off all of my plushies. So I say this is a meat and potatoes because this is the genre that I read, I think, the most. I have a lot of horror, thriller, and what I consider dark academia and classics that I put on the shelf. A lot of these books are some of my top favorite ones that I also wanted to display. So I just wanted to categorize everything properly, showing you some more of my trinkets, all of my T. Kingfisher books that I absolutely adore. And so now I'm dusting again, as one does when they clean. Oh, forgot about my necklaces. And now I'm just wiping everything down and stressing out over all the books that I have to organize. And I don't know why that was in there, but whatever. So now I'm just showing you guys all of the piles and stressing out about it. Creepy hands. So I'm just trying to put everything into sections like YA Dark Academia, YA Horror, regular horror, creepy hands again. And these are like my 5 stars or top favorite books that I'm showing you guys that I wanted to put in its own special place. And then this is my Dark Academia and classic pile. I have a few piles of horror right there. My Mary book. And then this is YA and just miscellaneous thriller and Dark Academia and such. Okay, so it took a long time to try to organize everything. I did end up changing this a little bit again later on, and me struggling to shelve all of these books, figuring out where everything goes according to my brain. At this point I was already a little bit tired, but I also noticed that I bite the inside of my cheek a lot. But I'm not mad, I swear. I'm just really locked in. So here I am trying to figure out where to put all my favorites. And towards the end you'll see that I decided to put the top left part, a lot of my favorites such as T. Kingfisher books, and then YA books on the right. And the second shelf to be more of my favorites and YA Dark Academia. So I'm just shelving all of those, putting a bunch of my trinkets up there, and a bunch of my plushies, I guess. Alright, so like I said, this is more of the favorites and YA Horror Dark Academia, T. Kingfisher, more of my favorites, some YA and Dark Academia, and then I have a lot of these Hellboy art that my friend gave me. This is starting to go into the horror section, and then this is like horror and thriller / Dark Academia type stuff. Alright, so now we're on the childhood nostalgia shelf, which was way easier than the last shelf that we went through. I just have a lot of like my toys and such. We'll see why that shelf is empty in a second towards the end. Friendly reminder, drink your water, bitch. Alright, so I'm just taking all of those things off. My statues, so you can see all the vitamins that I put on there. Some more because I'm malnourished, I guess. And now I'm putting all of my children in the jail cup because I don't know. All my CDs, and then my CD player, and then my husband's Baby Yoda in all its glory. And now I'm just taking off a bunch of books off of the shelf, and might I add, this shelf was so dusty, guys. I don't know, like I was really dying towards the end. Like you can see a few little dust floaties, but oh my god, I was like dying. Yep, got some in my eye there. So at this point I did get shy because my husband came home and I don't know how to act when he's around, I guess, and I'm filming these Uno cards. And this game that I found at a random gas station, this was a very nostalgic game for me when I was little. And this fan that my friend Josh gave me for my birthday, thank you so much, Josh. Hey. And here's my toy basket, just dusting that off. It's mostly calico furniture. And then my other toy basket, which holds some of my baby brats. Here she is, kind of bald. And here is the other one, so cute. She is not bald. As I was putting them away, I realized that one of them was half bald, so I tried putting her hair back on, but as I put her back in the basket, her hair fell off again. So anyways, these are my coloring books. And then this Wizardology book that I was obsessed with when I was little. Elementary school, I was that girl. Yo, I felt like such a wealthy woman when I had this. Thought I was gonna have all these magical powers. Obsessed. Anyways, there's that. And then this Gravity Falls book that I gave to my husband. We don't have 1 or 2, but we have 3. And now here are my favorite gay icons. Frog and Toad. No one can tell me that they were just friends. They were not just friends. And then my husband's Dr. Seuss collection. So cute. And then some Winnie the Pooh books, Spiderwick Chronicles, and Edward Tulane. Does anyone else remember this? It says Bethel because I did get this at the thrift store. This isn't my copy. I am not Bethel. Look at that. Pictures. Poor Edward. This story was actually really depressing. I don't know why I was so obsessed with it. Anyways, here's Redwall. And another Redwall because I wanted more than one copy. And then these mouse books that reminded me of Redwall that I haven't read yet, but I will eventually. Look at that, so cute. Alright, thumbs up. Now, I did dust this off camera because I was dying so badly from all of the dust. So it is now clean, don't worry. And I'm just putting it all away. Rearranging it. Here's Biscuit and then Clifford. I do have my collection of CDs in the back as well, some of them. And then putting my coloring books away, some more stuffies, my littlest pet shops because they deserve a home. They've been homeless for a hot minute. And then as you can see, I just put some more stuffies away, and I'm adding my Junie B. Jones books, which later on I decide to move to the bottom shelf. I forgot why, but whatever. And then I was showing my husband. I don't know why I exposed her like that, but whatever. Shoving her in the back for some reason as well. Poor girl. I'm sorry. And then stuffing all of the vintage bunnies in that corner for Edward Tulane. And then Philip on top of the Junie B. Jones books because it would just make sense. All of my Build-A-Bear bunnies. And then, like I said, I decided to put all of those at the bottom shelf. And then I have my Dear Dumb Diary books. And then later on I am also adding the Dork Diary books. Emily Windsnap, the Boyfriend List, and one of the George L. Nicholson books. I want to get all of them, but that was the only one I could find. So here I am just arranging all of my trinkets and such. I put away my CDs, dusted everything again, like I said, off camera. My Calico babies are still in jail, but whatever. And now here is the finishing touch. This is the final take of my Nostalgia Childhood shelf. This is like, I believe, the only shelf that I didn't rearrange or really change anything after I filmed. Those are my Among Us. All of my vintage bunnies. And I just stuffed in there. All of my sock monkeys are in there. This is the only shelf that I didn't really like how it turned out, but I didn't know where else to put it. So anyways, here is the final reveal of all the shelves. Like I said, there is a Spider-Man, my husband's Spider-Mans, my Twilight in Spanish, a bunch of the fantasy books, some more fantasy, and some more fantasy, and a few just regular fiction books. I guess I didn't know where else to put them. Another look at my manga shelf with all of its trinkets, my Bleach, my Cone, Ichigo, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so that was my bookshelf organizational video. I hope you enjoyed. I was kind of shy at certain parts. I hope maybe this will inspire you to maybe organize your shelves, or maybe do the thing that was kind of daunting to do, maybe to play it in the background, whatever. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys very much. Like I said, try to take care of one another. Please try to take care of yourself, and I will see you all in the next chapter. Bye.